Itsy bitsy spider crawled in Miss Booty Crack.
What? That's not how it goes.
Down came the rain as I threw this coochie back. Came buns in it.
Today we are watching Why Chica Matters, the FNAF character who always pushed aside. FNAF character analyze essay by MR Springs. Let's get into it.
So when you think of Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics, or heck, even just Five Nights at Freddy's in general, or in some cases, animatronics in general, you probably think of four characters. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. But which one of those characters seems to stand out the least? You wouldn't think
Oh yeah, he did. I watched some of this before.
Be this bright yellow chicken, right? This bright yellow chicken with a sentient cupcake and a big bib that says "Let's eat" on it. That would be the one that's the least popular, right?
Yeah, it is actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since the first game, within the fandom, Chica has always kind of just been the least popular. A lot of people just tend to see her as just the girl, which I mean, yeah, that's what her name means, but I always thought it was strange how such an oddball character gets overlooked so often. She always seems like the odd one out despite always being right next to a character who was literally designed to be the odd one out.
This guy stinks!
The hell?
And being one of the original four animatronics in the series, I think she deserves a lot more recognition than she gets. In FNAF 1, every animatronic has a sort of personality.
Girl, what the fuck is you talking about?
Differently and serve different roles within the game.
Wait, does Chica chicken mean girl to chicken? That ain't make sense, man. Or chicken girl?
Freddy's the main leader of the band, so of course he's going to be the best at his job, so he's the best at sneaking around the pizzeria. Bonnie's the weirdo who just kind of stands around awkwardly giving you the same
Best character, by the way.
look all the time. Foxy's the retired, introverted one, who only likes to come out when either nobody's looking at him or he's angry. And what is Chica in this? A big yellow bird who really likes food and is also a little crazy. I've always found her mannerisms in FNAF 1 really unsettling. Whether it's the way her neck just kind of twists and turns randomly, or the way she stares at you in the dining area or through your office window.
Scary, man.
Or how she's really pissed off looking sometimes. She shows a lot more personality compared to a character like Bonnie, for example, who, honestly, I think the reason why Bonnie is so effective is the fact that he's just so dead looking. But Chica is kind of the opposite. She looks a bit too alive. And I think that's great because her contrasting with Bonnie is perfect because they both serve very, very similar roles within the gameplay, so I think giving them very different mannerisms is a really good thing. Speaking of contrast, I think it's about time we move on to Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
The hell? What type of transition is this? Long ass transition.
So FNAF 2 introduces two new Chica variants as opposed to one. Those two being Toy Chica and Withered Chica. This is what I was referring to when I said speaking of contrast. All the toy animatronics are seemingly trying to be the exact opposite of the original animatronics, with Toy Freddy being big and goofy instead of proper and formal, with Bonnie being instead of and Foxy looking like this. Scott opted to make her much more skinny and feminine, I guess. Which, I mean, I get the thought process, but I never really liked Toy Chica that much, to be honest. With the beak. Because without the beak, I love that. That's awesome. It's both the most unique aspect of her and the coolest one. But yeah, Toy Chica is definitely a very big departure from the original Chica, which is a very good thing, because the original Chica is also in this game, so you probably wouldn't want to have them be too similar if there's two Chicas in the game. Also, can we just have a big shout out to characters with this head design philosophy? I think it's really awesome. And then we got Withered Chica, who is basically take FNAF 1 Chica, remove all the personality and then just turn all the scary aspects up by about 11, and this is what you get. And yeah, she is one of the scariest characters in the entire franchise for me. I don't know how other people feel about her, but oh my gosh. But FNAF 2 is a pretty significant amount of Chica content. Nothing that really captures the same energy she had in FNAF 1, but it's all pretty good. You know, we get good Chica content in this game, so nice. I sure hope FNAF 3 will follow up on it.
That's why I look different.
So, what is there to say about Phantom Chica exactly? I could make the watermelon joke. That's a joke I can make. FNAF 4.
What is going on, man?
So FNAF 3 was basically just a bunch of, you know, filler with Springtrap in there, which I mean is good because we love Springtrap, but like Phantoms, they're kind of lame. But FNAF 4 brings back the big major roster with the biggest roster out of any FNAF game, surprisingly. Like, FNAF 4 has a lot of animatronics, and a lot of people really look over that. But we actually get 2 Chicas instead of 1 this game. They've never done that before, by the way.
It's because it was Halloween edition. It's not. It's basically the same thing but redesigned.
And oh my goodness, one of these things
For Halloween.
overshadows the other. And I honestly feel the same way about Nightmare Bonnie and Nightmare Foxy. I think a big reason that the Nightmare animatronics just kind of blend together, especially Bonnie and Chica specifically, just because they kind of function exactly the same and serve the exact same purpose and don't really have much to stand out from each other than the floating cupcake. I think another thing nightmares have is that they're just kind of cartoonishly scary rather than uncannily scary.
Oh, brother!
That and the fact that they're not really that important to the story of their own game, really.
Girl, what the fuck is you talking about?
Nightmare Chica. She's just really not that interesting. I mean, it's cool that she has 2 rows of teeth, or 2 extra rows of teeth, I mean. She's got 3 of them. That's cool. She's also got an eye that's not the same color as the other. I don't know why, but it's cool. But eventually, when FNAF 4 got updated for Halloween, it would introduce another version of Nightmare Chica, which has completely overshadowed the original pretty much.
I just like that one better.
One of my favorite interpretations of the character, and it is Jacko Chica.
Begin audio prompt in 3, 2, 1.
Now, in terms of FNAF 4, all Jacko Chica really has to...
Is it hot in here or is it just me?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like, this Jack-o'-lantern design works better with the Nightmare Chica model than the original Nightmare Chica model. And I think that's really impressive, really. And she's also got Mr. Pumpkin instead of Mr. Cupcake, so that's pretty awesome. I love Mr. Pumpkin. He's a common reoccurring character that everybody ignores. But at this point in the franchise, Jacko Chica was just kind of like the cooler Daniel, didn't have much to go off of at this point. So let's move on to the next game. So now we move on to Sister Location. Chica was just kind of completely absent for some reason, and it didn't really feel like anybody missed her at the time.
Let it out. Let it out.
You got your Bonnie, you got your Foxy, and then you just got your baby and your Ballora. Who are those? This felt like Scott Cawthon walked up to Chica, stomped on her, threw her in a dumpster, then we got a book called Five Nights at Freddy's, The Twisted Ones, with new sets of characters that are called the Twisted Animatronics. We got Twisted Freddy, Twisted Bonnie, Twisted Foxy, Twisted Wolf. Twisted Wolf didn't even need to exist. Like, who is he? Who is this? They never even elaborate on what he is. He just kind of is there. Despite not being in the book, Twisted Chica got a design. looks like this. A book called The Survival Logbook. Banned.
The fact that all this in this entire video, he's talking about like for 20 minutes, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't care, because she's not my favorite character. Honestly, she could be gone. I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, everything's yapping about it, and I'm watching it. I was trying to see why she matters, and he's just fucking being sad about why she wasn't there. Man, get on to the fucking subject.
In this book, we got a teaser for FNAF 6, which we didn't have many, so it was good to have something. So, let's look at this teaser real quick. Look at that. A scrap Chica. I wonder how this will be incorporated. It wasn't actually in the game. So now we're on to the release of FNAF 6, where obviously Scrap Chica was not one of the scrap animatronics.
Real shit.
Which, it really makes you wonder, was she ever even gonna be there?
Hell
Why
no.
does the art of Scrap Chica exist in the first place? It's really, really confusing. But, I mean...
This is from Help Wanted, that's why.
Over normal night mode in the game, but there's a day mode in the game, so maybe she's in there. Oh look, two Chica. Scott.
He used
Horrifying
that picture,
Chica
bro.
has gotta be one of the worst character designs I've ever seen in the series.
And that is the truth.
It's not even that like the design is bad.
Even the fucking cupcake looks off brand. What the hell?
There's still another Chica, and it is Rockstar Chica. And honestly,
That was not
I think
bad.
Rockstar Chica is a bit overhated. I mean, she's definitely on the lower tiers when it comes to Chica variants, but I mean, she's not awful.
Shit could have been worse. It could have been worse.
She kind of reminds me of...
Oh!
But I wouldn't really say there's much interesting to talk about outside of the voices, so yeah, let's get into that. So Toy Chica's voice is just seductive, I guess. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but it fits, so it's not that bad.
Let's go somewhere more private, so I can eat.
Withered Chica gets a very, very good voice in this game, but it even gives Chica some new lore with this line. That just confirmed that Susie, the spirit-possessing Chica, was the first victim, so, neat. And also, the voice is just, like, really generally creepy, and I really like it, because that fits the character design really well. Jacko Chica received one of the coolest voices in the series for no reason at all.
Love that, man. Love that.
They give Rockstar Chica kind of just a generic countrywoman voice, but it's fine.
That'll teach you for trying to trick this old bird.
Ultimate Custom Night was great for the Chica Nation, because it finally gave us good Chica content, because we didn't have any for like a few years. Let's see what they did with Chica and Help Wanted. So basically the only Chica and Help Wanted to actually get any spotlight is Classic Chica, which is perfectly fine because you got the least in Ultimate Custom Night, so it makes sense. This game focuses heavily on Chica's tendency to eat pizza, which wasn't really...
Is this a fan game? Because I've never seen this before.
It was implied in FNAF,
Animated or some shit?
kind of, not really.
Or is this
I mean,
6? I don't know, bro.
She goes to the
I think it's fan
kitchen,
game.
it's a pizza restaurant, you can kind of connect the dots, but Help Wanted basically confirms, yes, this robot does eat pizza. And because she's a robot and she can't digest the food, so it just goes in there and rots, she gets a cockroach infestation in this game. Woohoo! But in the game files, there was an unused song for a Showtime feature where you get to watch the animatronics perform, and in this performance, you can actually hear Chica's official voice. This is the only time we've officially heard her voice. Well, I guess we kind of hear it a little bit later.
Why are
but,
you standing like that?
this is the first time she
bro.
speaks.
Oh, but this is ass. And you wonder why she's not included in most of the shit. This shit's ass. Oh, hell no! They gotta be fired for this damn voice acting. What the fuck are we talking about?
Now we're gonna move on to FNAF Security Breach. This is when things get interesting. This is when the main point of the video, you know what the thumbnail
Nigga, we are at 16:33. This shit sound boring, man.
said? That's what this section's mainly about. So it goes without saying
Mm.
that Glam Rock
Okay,
animatronics
nigga.
are the most personality-oriented animatronics in the entire series. Or honestly, I'd say
Man,
they're
get the
like
fuck on, bro. They could at least added Bonnie, bro. They replacing it with Monty, man. Move the fuck on.
par with like Funtime Freddy and Baby in terms of that aspect. But the Glam Rock animatronics are basically advanced enough to be considered their own people and not even animatronics. Like, they have their own thoughts, they have their own feelings, they have their own ideas, they have their own, like, interests. They're very, like, distinct with their personalities. But of course, the story of Security Breach involves them being infected by the glitch trap virus.
Yeah.
And what the virus does to them is basically exaggerate their personalities a lot. Mostly the negative aspects of their personality. And how the glitch trap virus affects Chica is that it brings her back to her origins. She picks up the mannerisms the original Chica had. The weird neck tilts, the crazy look. The jump scare is very similar.
No, shit. I don't give a fuck.
Chica's love for pizza even more, and even adds on to that with making her dig through the trash for it even. Her voice lines are all very automated and robotic, along with her just making chicken noises and weird grunts and growls. Yeah, that was the rise, the fall, and the rise again of Chica the Chicken.
So basically, we're saying we had a whole documentary on Chica instead of what the fuck the video said. Okay, that is the end of the video. Hope y'all liked it. I guess I didn't really like watching it, but I'll see you guys in the next one.